Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a kind of a Live PD inspired live streaming vehicle. So if you watch Live PD, I'm using that as an example because they have a setup where they're capable of broadcasting out in an HD, 1080 quality broadcast picture all across counties in America. And they use a very expensive setup. Their setup is bonding to a bunch of different networks. So they're using a combination of basically Verizon, Sprint, AT&T. They're using Wi-Fi capabilities. It's basically tethering all of those technologies together. And in doing so, they're able to broadcast out this signal that is really incredible and quite reliable. I'm going to demonstrate that you can do a similar setup for quite a bit less money, a lot more of a budget-friendly setup. So if this is your first time checking in, please click that subscribe button down below. Also, a like on the video goes a long way to help support our channel. So I'm going to get to it here, and I'll show you how this whole setup is going to work. The ATEM Studio HD is the box, essentially, that will take all of the camera feed, and that will plug into the web presenter, which is also a Blackmagic product, hook up to the laptop and push that signal out through my truck, which has the AT&T 4G LTE, and that is provided through OnStar. So first, we have our power strip, and that's going to plug into, I actually have the 120 volt plug in here in the truck. So we'll plug that in. As you can see, we get power to the power strip. So we'll set that aside, take our bag, set that off to the side. Now the next thing we're going to need is a laptop that's going to be streaming the signal out. Now it's important, if you're going to do a setup like this, it is important to do it safely. And the intent of this entire setup is basically to show that you can do this setup and have it be a safe thing to operate on the road with one person. And I'm going to show you how to do that, where it's going to be basically without any distractions at all. It'll be the same as changing radio station buttons on the stereo. It'll be no more distracting than that. We have our RAM Seatmate. This is going to be a laptop mount that you can use in any vehicle. So this is the base for the RAM Seatmate. It's pretty simple to put together. Also stores nice and neatly in that storage bag. This just goes in underneath the back of the seat. Just pull this up as this latches underneath the seat. Kind of push down and pull up at the same time. So our base is mounted. Then we'll take our tough tray. This here will just mount to that ball. And there we have a nice sturdy mount for our laptop. Now this will be our broadcasting equipment while we're out on the road. So we'll set this off, just loosen this up and kind of set it off to the side for now so we can do the rest of our setup. So that's good for now. Now to the good stuff. Let's go ahead and push this seat back, give me a little more room. Here you have the web presenter. This is basically the piece of equipment that hooks to the laptop and pushes that signal out. This is the ATEM Studio HD, and there really isn't much of an unboxing to this because it really doesn't come with anything. So even including the power cord, you have to buy the power cord separate. Link in the description below for all of the stuff here that I'm building this out with. And here you can see on the ATEM Studio HD, you have your 4 HDMI inputs, which I will use for the GoPro cameras that I have. The SDI inputs, you do have your 2 XLR mic inputs, so you can use that for audio inputs. You also have your controls, everything that hooks up to interface between the two boxes. On the web presenter, which you can use as a standalone if you want to only use two cameras, you have 1 HDMI in, and all the rest of the inputs are SDI. You also have an XLR mic input for that. So this is going to be our setup, and I also use this on the Blackmagic rack. The rack mount, just to keep them nice and tight together. This just kind of makes it one nice package that you can kind of pull out and use any way you see fit. And what I'm going to do now, in order to make this a switcher that I can use on the road without any real distraction, what I'm going to be doing is taking this and I'm going to mount it just an easy, real easy setup with some ratchet straps. I can catch underneath the lip of here without any interfering with any of the SDI inputs, and keep this up above, and all within easy driver access. So I basically can just hit these buttons as I'm driving, switch between my 3 cameras, and really build out quite the live streaming rig, and just switch back and forth between what it is you're seeing as a viewer. This is going to be a great setup. This is going to be a really easy thing to demonstrate. So I'll go ahead and we'll get this rigged up. So what we're going to do before we actually ratchet strap that all together is we're going to get all of our cables hooked up, and then we'll go ahead and put it in place. That way we can be sure that everything's kind of where it needs to be, and you know, make sure that all the cables are still connected. You know, you'll want to double check that. Now there are a lot of cables necessary to pull this off. So first what we're going to do for this demonstration, I'm going to use a camera in the window, which will be my front-facing camera to show the road. I also will have a camera rigged up to the tailgate on the back of the truck. So here we have I believe this is a 15-foot HDMI cable. We're going to use this for the back of the truck. So our back camera is rigged, and our front camera, we'll run again another HDMI. And anytime you put a GoPro on the outside of your vehicle, use a tether. I learned the hard way and ran over a GoPro. You don't want to do that. Use a tether. Now for this setup, you can use an HDMI to SDI converter if you're only going to use the web presenter. That is an option. For this purpose of this video, I'm not going to do that because it draws power, and we are limited on our power supply here in the truck. This can be used in a studio environment much easier, so I'm just going to toss it off to the side. This video we are only going to use these HDMI cables because we can run HDMI to all 3. We are going to have a driver camera, which is going to be input number 1, and then we are going to have a front and rear, which will be 2 and 3. So driver's number 1. Front camera will be number 2, and rear camera will become number 3. So here's all of our cameras hooked up now. Our Studio HD, we're going to hook it via SDI to our ATEM web presenter, to our SDI in, and what that does is that's now going to take that and then hook up via USB to basically become our webcam, and that will hook up to our MacBook. This is really easier than it sounds. It's just kind of a handful of steps, but once you do it a couple times, it does become slightly easier. So this becomes a USB webcam, and that will in turn go to the laptop. So now we will power both these boxes with just a standard. This is like your, these I did order from Amazon only because they did not come with the web presenter. So I'm just going to run this underneath the inputs just to keep that, you know, the inputs clear of the strap. We obviously don't want to bend any of that stuff, and just pick up the back side of it. Just again, just can never be too safe. So there we are. We're all snugged up. That should go nowhere. And now we will get our laptop in a safe position. And this is only going to be a monitor of sorts. This is really not intended to really even need to be utilized while we are in motion. And again, safety first. We'll hook up power for our laptop. This basically becomes our streaming device. This is going to be what connects to the truck and pushes out that signal for the stream. Our web presenter powered up and our ATEM Studio HD powered up. So now I'm going to go ahead and hook all these cameras up. So please subscribe for future videos. This is going to go to a live stream now, and this video will be uploaded afterwards. So please stay tuned for more, and please leave some comments below for how you like this setup. Please stay tuned for more videos. Click that subscribe button down below, and please click like for future videos as well. So we will catch you next time.